Between stimulus and response there is a space. In that space is our power to choose our response. In our response lies our growth and our freedom. Viktor Frankl was an Austrian-born neurologist, psychiatrist and philosopher, born on the 26th of March 1905 in Vienna. Frankl founded the school of thought called logotherapy, proposing that a search for meaning is the ultimate purpose in a person's life. Through meaning we have direction, purpose, and a driving force with which to push through hardship, adversity, and the struggles of day-to-day life. Frankl is perhaps most famous for surviving the Holocaust. In 1942, Frankl and his family were sent to the Theresienstadt concentration camp. Here his father died. And in 1944, Frankl and his remaining family were moved to Auschwitz, where his mother was killed, and his wife died shortly after. In 1945, after the liberation of the camps by Allied forces, Frankl returned to his home city of Vienna, where he wrote the book Man's Search for Meaning. In this book, he detailed the life in the concentration camps, the brutality and destitution of the conditions, and the fall of his fellow prisoners into despair and hopelessness. In this book, he wrote, "Between stimulus and response there is a space. In that space is our power to choose our response. In our response lies our growth and our freedom." This to me is the most profound message in the entire book, a book filled with great lessons and life philosophy. But what is this space Frankl wrote about, and what is meant by growth and freedom? In its simplest form, this space is the fraction of time in which we process the world around us. For many of us, this is completely unconscious, and for the most part happens without us even noticing. The way in which we interpret the world around us is made up of our beliefs, our values, judgments, biases, and all of the subtle ways our experiences have shaped the way we think and the way we perceive everything we experience. These perceptions ultimately filter down into our behavior and dictate the way we respond to what we've just encountered. For example, if a dog walks up to someone in the park, a person who was attacked by a dog as a child will probably have a very different experience than a person who grew up with a close bond to their family dog. While the stimulus is the same, the reaction to the stimulus can vary wildly based on the individual's experience. Often the way this space is formed happens at random. We go through our life absorbing the lessons around us. Through direct experience, we form our own beliefs, and through the teachings of other people, we adopt the beliefs of others, both consciously and unconsciously. This randomness for a select few can work in their favor if they happen to grow and develop in a constructive environment. However, for most people, chance is not a robust way of developing beliefs and values about the world, about ourselves, or about the people around us. By its very nature, random chance is likely to create a sort of bell curve, where some people are fortunate, they have had a constructive environment and end up well-rounded and happy. Some people are very unfortunate, they go through trauma, hardship and struggle without the tools to handle it, and as a result they become very unhappy. And most people lie somewhere in the middle. But if we reject random chance and adopt a conscious, deliberate practice of how our mindset and character is formed, we can shift the scales in our favor of happiness, resilience, and overall well-being. As Frankl says, our growth and our freedom. It's a bit like trying to make a cake. If you're having random ingredients thrown at you by life, it's going to be difficult to make a good cake by whisking up watermelon, ketchup, noodles, and eggs. But if you pay attention and you're deliberate about what you let in your mixing bowl, and you're good at rejecting what doesn't belong, you're in a far better position to make a tasty cake. When we change the way we process the world, we change our response to it. And when we change our responses, we slowly begin to change our life. However, it is important to focus our efforts on ourselves and what we can change, rather than trying to change the world first, or focusing on things that are outside the reach of our control. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus wrote, "Some things are within our control, and others not. Things in our control are opinion, pursuit, desire, aversion, and in a word, whatever are our own actions. Things not in our control are body, property, reputation, command, and in a word, whatever are not our actions. In order to change our life, how we interact with the world around us and its people, we need to change the way we respond to it. And to change the way we respond to it, we must take full responsibility and ownership for the space between stimulus and response, and consciously create the beliefs, values, and judgments needed for constructive behaviors that align with who we want to be. So how can we do this? For me, there are 3 stages to changing and developing this area of our life. The first step is awareness. Spend some time to identify exactly what your beliefs are. It's very difficult to change something if you don't know exactly what it is. If you can't see your beliefs, values, perceptions, and biases clearly, they're going to be very difficult to change. And often these things are subconscious and it requires a certain amount of effort to make them conscious. But over time this can be done, through honest self-observation and meditation. Once we've identified a few beliefs and we can see them clearly, we then have to challenge those beliefs. Ask questions. Why do you believe what you believe? Can you think of examples where that belief is not true? What assumptions are you making? How do you know it to be true? If we ask the right questions, and we ask enough questions, we can quickly begin to pick apart beliefs that are false or don't accurately reflect the world around us. The third step is reframing. If you find holes in your beliefs after questioning, ask yourself what a more realistic belief would be, or what a more constructive belief would be, and work these into your new, revised, and more accurate belief system. This will often require repetition, because it's very likely that the false or inaccurate beliefs you've been telling yourself have formed a habit that needs to be rewired. I hope you found something useful in today's video, and if you like the content and want to see more, feel free to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.